Hey, it's me, NT. Do you find yourself missing a pogo or dropping it completely in Hunter's March and then plunging into rose thorns and dying? Here's how to find the Wanderer Crest, which makes pogoing much easier. Okay, so starting in Bone Bottom at the village, we're going to want to work our way up to the bench at Moss Home, so let's go ahead and do that. Now this strategy doesn't actually rely on any unlocked abilities, such as you don't need the dash like some people say to get this crest. We're all just dealing with base, even though I am playing with a little bit later level character, just to go back and show y'all what to do. Okay, so this is the bench that we're going to base our work around. First of all, we're going to have to go over here to this room on the left. By the way, if that gate is closed, you just kind of go around and explore Moss Home a little bit more to open it up. And we're going to kill these two pilgrims, and they're going to give us 10 rosary beads. We're going to keep grinding that out until we have 500 rosary beads. After we have 500 rosary beads, we'll be going back to Bone Bottom, going to the shop, and buying the simple key. By the way, important note, once you buy every item from this shop except for the rosaries, the shopkeeper goes away, which means you can no longer buy rosaries until you find them again. You want to keep that in mind before you buy everything that he has. Alright, now that we've got the key, the next trick is getting to the door, which unfortunately is a little bit of a feat in itself. By the way, if you're finding this video interesting, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to me. I've been doing YouTube for like almost a year, no, a little over a year now, getting close to a year and a half, and I'm at under 200 subscribers, which is sort of disheartening. So please subscribe. Keep going this way. Again, some of this stuff you may have to do a little exploring to wander. Now, very important, the next step you want to do is to go turn the elevator on. The elevator will let you get back up here if you miss this difficult jump we're about to do. It's an elevator that leads directly down to Bone Bottom. Okay, once you've triggered that elevator as a failsafe, you're going to go over here, and we do have one pogo that we have to do to make this jump. This will be the only required pogo until you get the Wanderer Crest. So you see that cage? It is right out of our jump range. But that enemy that is circling the cage is going to allow us to get there. So we're going to wait until it's about at the top level of the cage, pogo, kill the enemy, and that enemy right there is our next aiming point. You can't actually hit him, but you're going to aim for the pogo like you want to hit him, fall down, and you land on this nice little cage that is hanging out over the abyss and keeps you from falling. Next, we're going to go up here, and a little bit more walking and exploring, and we're into acid bug land. Acid mole bug. Now this acid does 2 points of damage, and it persists a little bit longer on the ground than you think it does. It actually doesn't persist on the ground. There's no DOT on the ground or anything, but it does, just that fall lasts a little longer than you think. As you see, I got hit once. That's fine. Just keep pressing on, hide under the balcony here. Since I'm talking, I'm going to wait for one more cycle. Then after that cycle is over, go in and you're all good there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the key that we earned and open this door. This is going to lead us into the wormways. So the next task is going to be making your way through the wormways. Here's some sped up footage of that. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is to open this door right here. Go ahead and break the vines off of it. And that's going to lead you back to the very starting area. I would suggest taking the long walk from here to the right to Bone Bottom and saving at that bench and then coming back, because the next area we're going to is a little difficult. We're going to go into the ruined chapel. Now the ruined chapel is a little bit of a confusing place. There's a couple different ways you can go, but eventually you're going to end up in this arena. Here's some footage of me beating this arena. My best advice for here is to focus on the ground people first, because the air people are kind of hard to nail down, particularly if you're dodging ground people, and to heal when you're down to 2 masks. Try to get away from people, make a little distance, and hopefully start your healing after they've whiffed an attack. It can be a little hard to fit in, but Hornet does heal fast, so it's not too bad. Then just make your way over to this corpse all wrapped up in cloth, I wonder who it could be, and bind the Wanderer Crest. You might have to hit the bind button a couple times for some reason, or maybe you're just supposed to hold it, I'm not sure. The Crest of the Wanderer lets you cut swiftly and nimbly with short, precise strikes. Most importantly, it lets you pogo just like in Hollow Knight, where you just do an attack downward, which is much easier than Hornet's dive kick pogo. Now all the difficulty you've been having in Hunter's March is much easier. In fact, these fast little ants can't even keep up with how quickly you can attack now. You can mostly keep them away from you and keep the strikes away. Plus it just makes it much easier to bounce on these flowers. By the way, if you feel like you're not getting quite as much height as you did with a dive kick pogo, just bounce on the same flower twice to get a little extra height. Now there is one jump in Hunter's March that is particularly difficult, and the key to it is you want to bounce on the very edge of the flower hitbox. So probably one jump to line yourself up in the middle of the flower, then move slightly to the right, pogo again, and bounce yourself over to that ledge. So that's how to make pogoing and Hunter's March easier with the Wanderer Crest. If you're interested in seeing my blind playthrough of the game up to Bell Beast, I made a first impressions video. Here's the link and there's one in the description. I'm also going to be releasing some boss walkthrough videos, so if you subscribe and turn notifications on, you'll know when they come on. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope you'll have a great time playing Silksong, and bye!